Hello guys and welcome back to I'm a Celeb catch up, and we are finally at the last episode. We can all breathe a sigh of relief. It's over. The series has ended. I can now get back to making some maybe Big Brother content, which I'm really excited to do because this has really eaten up every single waking hour of my day. No, I'm joking. It hasn't actually been that dramatic. Don't worry. Apologies for the inconsistent episodes. I know this is technically Tuesday when I'm filming it. It's going to be Wednesday when it goes up, and it was Sunday when this came out. So yeah, a little bit of a dodgy schedule. I've been traveling, unfortunately. It's been a little tricky to record because I've been visiting family and just having a real good time. But I haven't forgotten about you guys. I've got some good stuff coming up. I'm traveling also next weekend as well. So it's going to be a bit touch and go. I'm going to try and get all the videos done for the weekend, but I've got about 24 hours to do them all and edit them and upload them. So we'll see how that goes. But let us get into the episode. We're talking about the final. There are 3 people left in camp. Tony Bellew, Sam... What on earth is his surname? Sam Thompson. Of course it is. My bad. And Nigel Farage. And they are the final 3 in camp. So, let's crack straight on. I gotta admit, this was not the final 3 that I was expecting, I gotta say. And I think that's part of the reason why this finale, like, I've only just watched it and it came out on Sunday. I think that's part of the reason why it's taken me so long to watch it and sort of... Yeah, Tony and Sam, very, very deserving winners, and definitely deserving... Not winners, definitely deserving of being in the final. Nigel's given us nothing all series. He's been not very entertaining, and I've not enjoyed seeing him on my screen, I've got to be honest. I think I would have much rather had Josie in the final with us, because I just think she would have been far more interesting to watch. I think she'd have had a little freak out at the trials in the last episode, and I think she would have persevered and done a good job. But I don't know. Nigel, just nothing seems to be a challenge to him, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. But I just didn't feel like anything he did in this episode was particularly challenging, which sucks because I'm a Celebrity is meant to be that challenging, controversial show where you're like, oh, these celebrities are being put in horrific situations. Will they do very well or not? Well, in Nigel's case, yeah, he does do very well. Apart from the one trial, which I still just have really weird feelings about. I don't know why. But anyway, let us move past that because we've got our final 3, and whatever you think about it, there's someone in there for everyone. Am I shocked that there's a top 3 boys? No, if I'm being 100% honest. We lost 2 women before the vote out even happened. Nella was gone within 2 days, and then the only girls left in camp were Josie and Danielle, because they didn't replace they didn't have any extra girls come in. They had 2 extra men, so there was always an imbalance in camp. And once Jamie Lynn and Grace left, there was I couldn't see more than one woman making it to the final, unfortunately. So that's just how I call it. That's how I saw it. So it's time to talk about the 3 Bush Tucker trials, and both Tony, Sam and Nigel had to participate in one each. I gotta say, it didn't feel as dramatic and as tense as it usually does, and I think that's mostly because they usually call them out of camp one at a time and get them to do it on their own, and so it feels a lot more oppressive and a lot more tense. But this time, they were allowed to watch each other and give each other moral support, and it just had a different vibe to it, and it made it almost seem a lot easier to endure, which, I don't know, there was just, it didn't really interest me, if I'm being honest. I was a little bit bored at times. Tony was up first. His was actually the most interesting trial to watch, or most fun to watch. He was essentially strapped down to a would you even call it? Like a dish, I guess. And he had loads of stuff poured on him. He had mealworms and beachworms on his. I've got to remember which side. Right. So this is. Oh, it's mirrored on your screen. No. Oh no. Right. Okay. So this arm, when he was lying flat, beachworms and mealworms. This arm was fish guts. Right leg was cockroaches and offal. And then the left leg had crabs and yabbies. And then I think they threw something else on there as well, but I can't remember. A lot of funny things going on. Tony is the funniest person to put in a trial because his commentary is hysterical. He's calling them disgusting. He's violating Ant and Dec constantly. This is disgusting. This is foul. He just will not let up, and it is so entertaining and funny to watch. And I really, really, really do appreciate that from Tony. I think he's absolutely hysterical, and he's the person that I think has had the most growth through the series and has gone from someone that I wasn't too fond of at the start to someone that I genuinely couldn't have imagined this series without. Like, yeah, he was really, really strong in most of the challenges. He did a really, really good job, and he smashed this last challenge as well. I gotta say, he did do very, 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 very well. So yeah, he got all the stars. He managed to get everybody's starters, every drink for himself, and I feel like there was something else, and I can't remember what it was, but there were 5 stars on offer for everyone, and it was a drink each, the starters, the mains, and the desserts. But then there was one left over, and I can't remember what that was. Was it for like a treat or something? I'm not sure. I can't remember at the end of the day. I did just watch it, but like I said, I was kind of zoning out. It wasn't actually that interesting. Moving on to the second trial, and we have Sam tucking in to the Bush Tucker Bonanza. And this is an iconic one. It's the eating trial. And what better person to give the eating trial to than Sam, who is a self-proclaimed bussy eater. Did I just say bussy eater? I meant that's something slightly different. Oop. I meant fussy eater. God, you can put a lot of words in front of ussy, and that still makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, so he had a whole load of things that he had to eat. I think the first dish he had to eat was a witchetty grub, which was a bit gross, bit grotty, not gonna lie. The second one was a camel's foot. He had to eat part of a camel's foot. The third one was a scorpion and a fish eye, which was like the most random combination of things. I gotta be honest, I really didn't expect those two things to be put together, but alas, what can you expect? And then last but not least, no, actually that's completely lies. We had pig vagina, which was the worst one for him. He said he kept on gagging it up and then having to cram it back in and then gagging it up. That was so funny to watch. And then finally he had camel's penis. This show is the only time in my life that I will ever say the words camel's penis and pig's vagina. That is not the things I was expecting to say this evening, but here we go. He actually did really, really well. He got all 5 of the stars. I've got to be honest, I have yet to see a finale of I'm a Celeb where they don't get all of the stars in the final challenges. It just feels like it's one final test of determination and vigor. And then I was like, okay. So what are they going to give to Nigel? Because they've done the eating challenge. They've done the strapping them down and shoving shit on them. Are they going to put him in a head and like throw shit in there? What are they possibly going to do? What they did was really, really, really boring. They put him in the snake coffin, which, first of all, Tony would have been a much better match for that. He hates snakes, he hates coffins, he hates being in the dark, in confined spaces. So that was the perfect trial for Tony. But they put Nigel in it, and it was just like a montage of just him lying there going, "This is one of the toughest things I've had to do, but the toughest thing I've had to do is lie in the wreckage of a plane that I crashed." And I was just like, do you know what? Maybe you're just too good for this show. Not morally, but just in terms of like ability. Because nothing has actually phased you in this jungle. The water challenge did, but having to duck underwater, which that's concerning and you need to go see a doctor, mate. But yeah, it just didn't really. Yeah, it was just a bit. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that was all three of the trials, and I gotta say they did do well, and it was entertaining. But like, we've had some really good challenges in the past, and these just felt very sort of last minute thoughts, if you get what I mean. Also, where was the in the Bush Tucker Bonanza? They usually bring out a here's a roast dinner or here's a cockroach smoothie. Which one are you gonna drink or eat or whatever? Like they didn't do that this time. I really like seeing the food because I like what I if I was on there, I'd be like, do you know what? But off that last start, I'm tucking into this food, tucking in. I'm having my meal now. Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm not going on the show, let's be honest. So it's time to talk about the placements. And in third place, we had Mr. Farage. And I gotta say, I'm not surprised. If he made it to the final, he was not making it above third in my eyes. I don't think he could have possibly made it above third because he just doesn't sit right with most of the like well, I say most of the country. Let's say half of the country. He doesn't sit right with half of the country. And you'll find that I'm a Celebrity is populated by a lot of my generation. A lot of my generation do the voting. But then obviously there seems to be a very vocal majority of people who are keeping him in the jungle. Essentially, I think the reason why he ended up falling towards the bottom is the people who were voting for other people who ended up at the bottom of the rung. They might not necessarily have wanted to vote for Farage, so voted for Sam and Tony to make it above them. I don't know what the science is. I really, really would love to see the statistics and the sort of data of who voted for who, because I just think it's really interesting. So the voting figures, as I found out, I won't delve into Sam and Tony's just yet, but in the three-way vote, Nigel Farage managed to pick up 25% of the public vote, or 26% if you round it up, which is a considerable amount of people. It's a quarter of the vote. It's quite strong, but it is most definitely last place, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. Unfortunately for him, but anyway. I don't know. It's a weird combination to strike. And once we get into sort of the second round of voting between Sam and Tony, the statistics are very, very interesting, I gotta say. And you'll see that it's almost as if Nigel Farage's fan base is voting him through as almost like a political statement. I think people who like Nigel Farage like him for his politics. I have not met a single person that likes him because of him. That just seems counterintuitive and counterproductive. You can't like a politician for the way they are without liking the way that their policies and things like that. So politicians have no place on reality TV unless they are retired or they are not sitting. And I know he is not sitting, but he's still very active in the political scene in this country. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit weird and a bit awkward and a bit uncomfortable. But it is what it is. I also want to address a video that started circulating where he seemed to threaten the head of ITV. He had no bad blood with the people making the show, but he did sort of say to the head of ITV, I'll be honest, I don't know what this is about. He was being very, very cryptic with his language, but it seems like something has happened and he's outraged and he's called out like the head of ITV and said, like, if you wanna come for me, the last person who did lost, and that was the head of NatWest. So watch your back or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is quite nasty, quite vicious, quite oof. I don't like this. But let's move on to Sam and Tony. They've had a fantastic jungle journey. Their jungle journey has been incredible. And I got to admit, I think they're the two that have most impressed me throughout this experience. Josie's up there as well. I love Josie. I still do love Josie. And people who don't like Josie baffle me. How can you not like Josie? She's not got a single bad bone in her body. And yeah, whatever. So Sam and Tony, their voting figures, if you don't know already, Sam won. I feel like we're 3 days past that now, 2 days past it, whatever. Sam won. So the voting figures were actually very, very interesting because in the first round of voting, Tony had 30% of the vote, Sam had 43% of the vote. So obviously that 25% has split right down the middle, and it has pretty much evenly split between Sam and Tony. Sam got 56% of the vote overall, and Tony got 43% of the vote. Let me just check those figures before I make a mistake. Yeah, 43%, 31% on Tony's side if we're rounding up, and then 57 technically if we're rounding up, and 43 on Tony's part. So there's a very, very even increase in percentage between Sam and Tony, which kind of indicates that Nigel's fan base, the 25%, kind of split evenly between them, which is just very interesting to me. I know I'm talking maths and I'm probably going to be losing viewers over that, but I hope you understand why that, like, I'm a real maths brain. I love maths. I love working out percentages. I love looking at voting figures because I just find it very fascinating. And this is definitely something that I did find very, very interesting. Clear majority for Sam, 57%. Very impressed, I gotta say. I think Sam is definitely a worthy winner of I'm a Celebrity, and I think it's made his entire life worth it. He's made it to a point in his life where he has won I'm a Celebrity, which is incredible. I've seen the videos of Pete being happy for him. I've seen the videos of Zara being happy for him. It just brings joy to my heart. And Tony said that he knew that Sam would win from when they did the coffin challenge, and it was like Nick, snakes, Tony, snakes, Nigel, rats, Nella, cockroaches, Sam, frogs. And I said that at the time, didn't I? I said that. I said the public are being nice to him because they really like him and they really want him to win. So, yep, that is all we have for this episode. There wasn't really a lot else to talk about. Their dinner was really lovely. The food looked absolutely gorgeous. But apart from that, thank you guys so much for for keeping up with this series. I know it's not been the most interesting, and I know I've had a very, very sharp decline in viewership from Big Brother to this. Love Island All Stars is happening in January, as is The Traitors. I'll definitely be covering The Traitors. I'll be doing a little chat show after that about it, sort of breaking it down, doing a little bit of a recap. But Love Island All Stars, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I've got the energy in me to like sit there for like 10 weeks and do videos on it. Because I really hate Love Island. I don't hate it, but like I'm so past the point in my life where I care about it. But it is All Stars, so maybe I'll wait and see what the lineup is like, see whether there's anybody I like on there. If there's not, I might not check it out. I might do the odd video on it. I might do weekly updates. I don't know. I might do them every other couple of days. I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about, is the only thing with Love Island. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have been amazing. This is me signing off on another series. I'll see you guys in whatever I decide to do next. It'll probably be Big Brother US, catching up on those videos, and I'll probably be doing What If over the Christmas period, taking a look into What If as well, which is a Marvel show. I might be doing some more scripted shows as well, rather than reality. Just let me know what you want me to do in the description. If there's any TV shows you want me to check out and do some videos on, put them down below and I'll check them out and do my best. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. See you later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.